It is a dark time in Hollywood. A time of vice, corruption, debauchery, molestation, hypocrisy. A time when a man's character is determined by a decade-old tweet on Twitter. A time when a winner is denied a chance in the spotlight just because of poor ratings. I am, of course, referring to Oscar night. Hello, good evening. I am Chuck Davidson, bringing to you non-live coverage of the 91st Academy Awards. And joining me now is a local filmmaker, a struggling artist, a lonely dishwasher, a man who barely has time for his friends, Mr. Tomcik. Hi. Thank you so much for joining us. Pleasure to be here, Chuck. I mean, you could have stopped at filmmaker, Chuck, but you know, it's your talk show, so I'm gonna let you do it, you know, how you want to do it, and I'm thrilled to be here. So let's talk about the Oscars. I mean, it's been a hell of a year for film, hasn't it? I feel like it's been kind of a slow year in film, Chuck, but this Oscar race is actually a pretty good one. It's very tight. Yeah. Well, let's start with the first category. Best Supporting Actress. Personally, I think it's going to go to Regina King, but it's kind of weird, Chuck, because throughout the whole race, she has had a lot of momentum, but she got snubbed at BAFTA. She also got snubbed at SAG, and that's a big deal, you know? And her main competition is Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone. However, those two actresses, they're nominated for the same movie. And you know, whenever that happens, that usually splits the vote. So this could work in her favor.
I don't understand you. It's your grandchild. What difference does it make how he gets here? The child ain't got nothing to do with that. Ain't none of us got nothing to do with that.
And Best Supporting Actor. This is hands down Mahershala Ali's to win, because his character in Green Book is very complicated. I mean, not only does he play a black man in Jim Crow era South, but the movie also implies that he's a homosexual, which adds even more dimension to his character and makes him even more ostracized from society. This society that celebrates him as a musical genius, and yet he can't even use the same bathroom in their houses or in their establishment. I mean, it's crazy. And he plays these dimensions so well. So I think this is Mahershala Ali's to win.
Dear Dolores, D-E-A-R, this is an animal. As I'm writing this letter, I'm eating potato chips, and I'm starting to get thirsty. And you know this is pathetic, right?
Well, let's move on to Best Actress. This year, I think it's going to come down between Olivia Colman and Glenn Close. Olivia Colman, she did a fantastic job. She was all over the map with this one. I mean, she plays Queen Anne in The Favorite, and at one point she can be fragile, sad, depressed, you know, stalked by tragedy, and then all of a sudden she's tyrannical, she's scary, she's powerful, and she can switch on and off very well, just like that. She's marvelous. But I think this is Glenn Close's to win.
What about
Lady
Lady
Gaga? Let's be frank. I mean, this is a career Oscar for her. I mean, she's been nominated and lost 6 times in her whole career. So I think the Academy kind of owes her at this point. But she does like a kind of Manchester by the Sea kind of acting. She says a lot without saying too much. It's all to do with that close-up, Chuck. The power of the close-up, where her character doesn't say much, but you could read all her emotions and thoughts in her eyes. Well, what about this new up-and-coming actress I've been hearing so much about, Lady Lady Gaga. It's named after a Queen song, apparently. She'll be fine. She'll win Best Original Song. She's good. I mean, she's a talented actress, and I think she's got a career ahead of her. She can act, and I think she'll act again. But still, I think it's Glenn Close.
I can't do it. I can't take it. I can't take the humiliation of holding your coat and arranging your pills and picking the crumbs out of your beard and being shoved aside with all the other wives to talk about some shopping trip while you say to all the gathering sycophants that your wife doesn't write?
What about Best Actor? I think it's going to be Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody. Now, whether or not his portrayal of Freddie Mercury is 100% accurate, he does something extraordinary. Same as Glenn Close. He says a lot without saying too much. He plays a very subdued character, very shy, very reserved, who only truly feels himself whenever he's performing. That's how a lot of artists are, you know? They just feel like they're misunderstood, like they don't belong. But when they're able to do what they can, or what they've always wanted to do, it's so amazing. And to have him have that kind of thing. And Rami Malek, like those eyes, man. I mean, not only are they big, I mean, Rami Malek's got some big eyes. He has big teeth too. And well, that's prosthetics, you know. But he just, like Glenn Close, he shows a lot without saying too much, and you really feel for him.
When I know I really have them, I couldn't sing off key if I tried. I'm exactly the person I was always meant to be. I'm not afraid of anything.
Well, now we've come to the final award. Best Picture. Chuck, I have not predicted a Best Picture winner since 12 Years a Slave, and that was 2013. What do you think is going to win? I think Green Book. Green Book? Why? Because it's got pretty much everything you need in a Best Picture winner. It's got a good story, good writing, good directing, great acting from Viggo and Mahershala, I guess. It's topical, you know, it deals with racism, which is still, you know, a heavy topic today. It's amazing. That movie takes place in the 60s and, you know, nothing's changed. Not really. That's true. And also, final note, it's extremely entertaining. I was surprised. So, like, when I walked into the movie, I did not expect to like it as much as I do. And that became my second favorite movie of the year. What was your number one? The favorite? But what about Roma? What about Roma? I mean, I just saw 3 billboards outside this studio. I mean, don't you think, after all the awards that movie's been winning this whole year, I mean, don't you think that's got a chance to win? Well, looking at my track record, it's possible that I might be wrong. Most certainly I'd be wrong, and Roma might definitely win this award. Here's the problem, Chuck. The Academy is all about the preservation of cinema and the whole movie-going experience. Roma is a Netflix movie, and I know for a fact there are a lot of members in the Academy who are prejudiced against Netflix, you know, because they want people to go to the movie theaters to see this movie, not on your laptop or on a phone. So if Roma did win, it would bring down so many barriers. I mean, a Netflix movie, a foreign language movie, I mean, it would be amazing. I still think it's going to be Green Book.
I am not a medical doctor. I'm a musician. I'm about to embark on a concert tour in the Deep South. What other experience do you have?
Public relations.
Now, before we leave, Mr. Tomcik, is there anything you'd like to say to our audience? Anything you'd like to plug or promote? Yes. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you like this, you can subscribe to my video and even check out my first short film, The Painter. I mean, it was rejected from Sundance, along with like dozens of other short film festivals that I submitted to, but it's still good. You should check it out. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Chuck Davidson. Thank you and good night.